Hello everybody, this is John, and I finally finished FarCry Primal, so it's time to do the full game review. In this game, you are Takar, the caveman, in the year 10,000 BC. It's rated M due to blood and gore, intense violence, nudity, and sexual content. The game delivers on blood and gore, as well as intense violence against men and beasts. The nudity consists of occasional exposed breasts, like you might see on National Geographic. Probably not necessary to rate that part of it. I didn't come across any sexual content in my first playthrough, but still, if you're a parent, you might want to give this game a thorough test before giving it to your child. Previous Far Cry games have always been set in modern times as sort of traditional first-person open-world shooters with tons of weapons, grenades, and other modern armaments. This time, though, the game takes you way back in time, so there are no guns. This is part of what intrigued me the most when I heard about this game. You have to fend off prehistoric threats with handcrafted Stone Age weapons. You can also make crude traps and bombs and tame some of the beasts in the world. Far Cry Primal is set in a large open world and offers dozens of hours of gameplay on the main mission. That doesn't even include secondary and random missions that occur. So you'll be very busy, especially if you're the kind of gamer who likes to finish every last activity on the map, like I do. This review will focus mostly on game mechanics, and I will offer some strategy tips without spoilers. There's quite a bit to cover, so let's get started. Many games have a day and night cycle, but it's usually just for looks. Far Cry Primal's day and night cycle is something you really need to pay attention to, especially in the beginning. That is, if you want to survive. More dangerous predators come out at night, and you'll find yourself being hunted if you stay in the wilderness after dark. If you notice it's starting to get dark, you can always fast travel back to your cave and sleep until dawn. Since the game is set in prehistoric times, you have to make everything for yourself. That means crafting your own weapons, throwables, and traps, and also improving your on-body equipment to increase your carrying capacity for pretty much everything else. Certain NPCs can also teach you how to make useful items like a grappling claw, so it's important to identify and complete main mission quests for this reason. The other thing you need to pay attention to is gathering resources. Resources can be found everywhere in the game and are needed for village upgrades, which lead to better weapons, and better weapons, of course, also require more resources to build and upgrade. There are small trees that can be harvested for wood, which is a crucial resource for weapon building as well as village upgrades. Plants grow everywhere, and their leaves can be harvested for making food or for healing wounds. Rocks, dust, and clay are also abundant and needed for many of the various upgrades that are made available to you along the way. And just like in previous Far Cry games, animal skins are used to craft larger loot bags, weapon sheaths, and the many pouches and packs that any enterprising caveman needs to carry his stuff around. There are many skills to choose from. My only advice in this part of the game is to choose the skills that are most appropriate for your playing style. But more importantly, find and choose the skills that increase your health bars early and often. No matter what style you choose, it never hurts to have more health. You have to build huts for certain main NPCs so they can teach you better and more advanced skills. To this end, you have to constantly be gathering resources when you are out exploring. The main quest missions appear on your map as yellow waypoints with portraits of the NPCs you're doing them for. In some cases, especially in the beginning, you complete these quests to recruit the NPCs, who then teach you advanced skills or make special items that you will need to finish the game. One thing though, the NPCs don't always appreciate the chance to meet you when they first do, because they don't know if you're a bad guy or a good guy. Huh? Oh, let me guess. Oh, he's peeing on me. All main quests advance the storyline, so keep an eye out for them. Secondary quests are designated with orange waypoints on the map and are useful for gaining experience as well as skill points. They also usually add to your village population. Random events pop up as smaller yellow waypoints, not to be confused with the main quest waypoints that have portraits with them. They're time-sensitive activities that will award you with experience and sometimes more villagers for your population. The reason I keep talking about village population is that specific upgrades to your village require you to have a higher population, so it's not something that you can really ignore. As with other Far Cry episodes, you can use stealth or brute force in a fight. If you choose to sneak, an important part of using stealth is to pay close attention to your minimap because it tells you which way the bad guy is facing. Early on, you will earn an owl as a companion. The nice thing about this owl is that it can't be killed, so you never lose it. You can learn extra skills that make your owl more effective against enemies, which can come in very handy when you're trying to complete outpost and bonfire missions. In this case, I'm using my owl to drop berserk bombs that cause the enemies to attack each other. The owl can swoop down and kill most enemies with one hit. But you have to wait for a cooldown period in order to launch the owl again.
Bad guys. The saber-toothed tiger comes back.
You can also issue commands to your animal companion from the owl screen, directing it to attack the enemies below.
Shouldn't take these guys too much time to figure out what's going on.
It is possible to use your owl in conjunction with your animal companion to take out an entire enemy camp without having to do any of the fighting on your own. Taming beasts requires the proper skill level, which can be taught to you by NPCs in some cases and requires practice in other cases. To tame a beast, first make sure your skill level is high enough. Next, make some bait out of meat and toss it close to where the beast is. Once the beast starts eating the bait, you come up behind it and hit the button shown on the screen. It's pretty easy, and the beasts can be very useful.
Hey, he's my buddy now. White wolf has been tamed. No.
If your beast companion dies, you can go to your beast menu and bring it back. This uses red leaves, which can be found out and about.
Dismiss my...
Some of your tamed companions can be ridden. I noticed that riding my saber-toothed tiger made traveling longer distances take a lot less time. What's also cool about this is that you can attack enemies while riding. You also have the ability to craft food items that have healing and other properties. You'll need to understand how to use food in order to complete the game. This game was very easy to play, with excellent tutorial and informational windows. I was never left wondering what to do next. Even during quests, you'll get little instructions in the upper left corner that tell you exactly what you need to do.
See what I mean?
And if you're tracking a creature, for example, you can use something called hunter vision to find the footprints again. So if you use all the tools at your disposal and you pay attention to the tutorials, you'll never be left wondering what to do next or how to do what you need to do. Something else that's really cool is that the developers have included sort of this glossary slash, I don't know what you'd call it. It's like a manual to the game. It's right in your menu screen. So if you're ever having trouble figuring out how to do something, go to this menu and see if it's covered there. Chances are it is. Something else I found really cool about this game is that they created an entirely new language. And all your cavemen and the enemies all speak these different foreign languages. And now, of course, they have subtitles, so you know what they're saying. But I don't know, it just seemed to make the feeling of the game more realistic, sort of made the immersion factor deeper. The best part about this game is the fact that I didn't encounter a single bug or glitch the whole time I played through it. That's right, no crashes at all. It was probably the smoothest and least problematic gameplay I've ever had in a game. These games always seem to be released with bugs and freeze up on you and stuff like that. This one did not do that at all. The only possible drawback to this game is that it doesn't have a lot of replayability value. Other open world RPGs tend to have replay value because the choices you make will affect the outcome and give you different endings. Not so much on this. It seems like you always have the same outcome no matter what you do, the same quests. You can't choose to side with one of the other factions if you want to, but Far Cry games have always been this way, so it's not like a big deal or anything like that. I'm just suggesting that replay value is something a lot of people look for, and if you're looking for a lot of replay value, it may not be the best game for that. Now, the replay value is still there if you just want to experience it again, because the experience is really good. So, you know, you can take that for what it's worth and decide what's right for you. Still, my hat is off to Ubisoft for a very excellent and enjoyable game, unlike anything I've seen out there in the past. And I've been playing games since the 1980s, if you can imagine that. So I've seen a lot of stuff over the years. So, great job, Ubisoft. I can't wait for the next Far Cry game. Alright, so that'll do it for this review. Please comment below if you have anything to add, or maybe you have a bone to pick with my evaluation of this game. If you like, you can go to my Far Cry playlist on this channel and see I have some 61 episodes of playing through the game. And very little of the gameplay was done outside of these episodes. So you can see the whole game if you want to. If you want to see maybe part of it to decide if you want to get it, you just watch the first few. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and if you like my content, please subscribe. I'll talk to you later. Have a great day.